Tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. It's been 3 long years, do you still want me? Well, hello. I'm going to pose a question. Would you give up 50 days and then have $800 each month? And a warm welcome to one and all. And for those of you not seen me before, my name is Langers, and I am the overgrown child that is the Scruffy trader. And what I'm trying to do is kind of put trading in the real world. Maybe show you a trick or two along the way. And with this series of videos, I am genuinely doing that. Because today I'm going to answer kind of 2 questions in one, if you like. There's a few of the guys that want to see the journey of a prop firm that I'm trading, and also define what does start with 0 and end with 1 mean. Well, when I get on the spreadsheets, I'll be able to answer that question. But also, the thumbnail might have attracted you into this. How do you turn trading into a wage easily? Well, it is easy, and it's actually doing what I am going to show you now, which is using a prop firm in order to fund an account and then use those funds to pay you in the form of a profit split.
No way!
Now, when I started this journey a little while ago, I had no desire to trade with a prop firm.
Are you serious?
None at all. In fact, if you ask me today, I would still shy away from it because I'm constantly asked to trade with a company called FTMO. I have no desire to trade with them because the restrictions are too much. And talking of restrictions, hello my love. Say hello to the world rather than just be a hand.
You have caused confusion and delay, and terrible trouble to my trousers.
There's my restriction. Because whenever I say I'm going to do something, the first word out of her mouth is no.
You're an idiot.
Well, it's normally when I'm going to do something stupid as well. There is a good reason why the Darwin Awards is predominantly men. I have done some ridiculously stupid things in my life. And since being married to Winky, those things would have probably have killed me. So thank you, my love. You have saved my life, literally. And today you've saved it with a cup of coffee. How good is that? What a girl. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Yes, I'm asked constantly about FTMO, and there's a couple of others. I don't like the restrictions that they place on you. I like to trade my own way and in my own time. And anyway, cut long story short, a few of the guys that I connect with wanted to deal with the 5%ers. And I checked them out and I thought, oh, okay, I'll follow the journey with you to help the guys move forward, because that's the ultimate goal, move forward. And in the course of it, I found out that I can do pretty much what I like with only one restriction, and that is control my risk. And I do that anyway. So this seemed to be a no-brainer. So let me jump on here and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about, and then I'll explain 0 end with 1.
Well, we're waiting.
Okay guys, so if I pose this question to you, I wonder how you would answer it. If I said to you that in 50 to 60 days you could have a reasonable living wage, but you had to work for those 60 days without anything in return, would you do it? Simple question. Why do I say that? It's because using this platform I have turned the pot that I originally took into a reasonable living wage in 51 days. And at the end of that 51 days, there was a payout. And now I'm on a profit share. Now, yes, you can argue that I trade for a living. I know what I'm doing. But let's just assume that you do know what you're doing and you have a reasonable system. And why do I say that? Because it takes money to make money. And I watch video after video saying you can flip 200 quid into a living wage in a couple of months.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
You can't. Because by the time you've made the money, you have to draw it out to live. And you're back to square one. So you never actually get any further forward. So let me just take you through this journey. And then at the end of each month, I'll kind of update it. As I did with the other one. The 5%ers, here they are. They have lots of trading resources up on this link up here. You can see dropping down. If you go through it, you'll even find webinars from myself. Because I was that taken with these. And as much as I checked them out, they checked me. I ended up doing a bit of training for them, and I still continue to do that. And because of that, you get a 5% discount off their fees using the link below. So kind of a freebie from me, for me giving them my time. And I don't need the money, so I passed it over on to you guys. Simple as that. Anyway, what was it I was driving at? There you go. If you start your trading career and you have a limited pot, you know, $565 buys you into this. And why have I picked on that one? It's because it's the platform that I use personally myself, and I'll show you that in just a second. You've got plenty of time to pass it. You don't need to worry too much about the leverage, because I know everyone bangs on about leverage and one thing and another. If you don't know what you're doing, leverage is actually dangerous. The lower the leverage, the better. And I'll show you that in just a second. And you have your drawdown caps, 1.5%, which is well in tolerance. And I'll show you some of my risk factors. On my account, each position is only 0.25, 0.25%. And yes, I open up multiple positions, so ultimately it goes up to about 1 to 1.5%. But it's well under the threshold of each position being 1.5. So you pay your 565, you're immediately given 13,000 live account. That's your leverage, not the account. And that's what I'm driving at. And I'll explain this when I go 0 to 1. Your account size is actually the drawdown. Okay, so when you're looking at this, the account is there, it's 520, but it's allowing you the leverage, if you think of it that way. All right, if you go in with a big position size, you're going to blow that straight away. And that's why I'm saying, can you wait 50, 60 days? So what happens after that? Well, once you pass it, that fund goes to 52,000. Once you get that, you can start making life-changing money. And life-changing, I don't mean go get your Lamborghini and your exotic holidays.
You ding-dong!
I mean time. Because what's better than working from home without a boss? For me, there isn't one. I've worked for myself, bloody hell, well over 20 years. I couldn't work for anybody anymore. If I want to do something, I have to do it myself. And there's not a better feeling in the world than that. It is the feeling. It's fantastic. Well, I'm saying that. Winky still tells me what to do on a daily basis. Whatever you think, she definitely rules this roost.
Are you trying to get a rise out of me? Are you happy now? Is this what you want?
So what am I driving at? Okay. Well, let me show you the platforms. This was the original platform. and I had 184 days to do it, and it took me 51 days to complete the initial setup. So just working steadily away, 51 days passed. They pay me out the profit that I've made, because you can't draw your profit till you've passed the milestone. The milestone was there, which was 910. Good progressive growth, but look at this. I never went into drawdown once, not once. It was up. Even when these bumps in the road came, it was profits that were already made. Okay, and there's the stats. So 717 deals, 51 days, 89% hit rate. So I don't give a monkey's what anybody says about, oh, you go 1 to 3 and you have a low hit rate and everything. To me, that's gambling. Trading is knowing what you're doing and following a plan. And I'll touch on that in just a second. The profit factor, because again, I get pulled up saying, you've got too big a stop and it's all crap and everything. Well, I'm here, that's third party, and it was passed. So, do you pass yours? I say that because Popeye's being at it again.
Prick.
Look at the profit factor. It needs to be greater than 1. Mine's 3.9. In fact, it's nearly 4. You know, so I don't expect it. And the bit that I would want to draw your attention to is that. It is 3. Just a nano lot of 3. And that equates to about 30p a position per pip. Peanuts. 30p. Now if I'd gone mental and I'd over-egged the account by putting a big position size on, I'd have blown that like that. But I had to stick to a plan. And my plan is broken down into bite-sized chunks. Now those bite-sized chunks is this. I run everything on a spreadsheet, we know that. And basically I am looking for that as a target each day. That's just a benchmark. So it's 21 quid. As the account grows, that grows with it. Now, as you can see by my day wins, it's 33 there, 74, 48, 40, 21. That was day 1. So that was setting up the account. But I didn't lose a day. It started with 0, ended with 1. And that's what this is. And this is what I want to draw your attention to. And before I explain that, I'll just show you that this is validated. Where are we at? There we are. This is my current pot. That's my name. There you are. 52,000. Right? That's what I'm trading with. But that's not what I consider the pot. I consider that leverage. That is my pot. 2,700. Okay, and I'm working on a milestone. That red that you saw is that which quickly recovered, and I'll explain that in just a second. I am still holding the same win rates and ratios that you saw on the last program from the last 51 days. So on this program, I've done 97 trades and I'm at 88% hit rate. So my percentages are still the same, and my profit factor is 3.8. So it's still roughly the same. And I'm still only at 30p a pip. I'll explain that. And if you want to see it, well, just because everyone goes on, I want to see a statement. You have to see a statement to be verified. Well, I've shown statements in the past, and if you think for a second I'm going to give you direct access into my real financial affairs, in other words, account numbers, etc., you are gravely mistaken. I'll show you what I'm doing, but there's no way I'm showing you my bank account. I mean, bloody hell. Tell you what, you post your credit card details online, pay me a fiver for it, and then I'll show you mine. Some people are just freaking idiots, you know. But anyway, they don't believe it because they can't do it. But this is verified in front of you, third party. No one can manipulate this. There you go. There's a statement. Right the way through everything. Okay? Verified here, verified on the other one. Simple. So, back to this. What am I driving at? What's all this got to do with a slice of bread? It's about planning and preparation. The reason people fail is they don't plan properly and they don't prepare themselves. Not just a strategy, I mean mentally. You will trade from a position of fear when things go wrong. You will trade from a position of greed when things go right. And both of them are destructive. You need a happy balance between them. And if you think of it this way, you're opening up a business. You have got capital on the line every day in that business. Do you want a return? Of course you do. But do you want a massive return? No, you don't. You want steady growth. And that steady growth means you have time to finesse and make the business stronger. If it grows too quickly, it can actually be more detrimental to the business than growing steadily. I know that sounds odd, but it is, because suddenly you're thrown into different types of thinking. You need staff. The more staff you have, the more problems you have. The more problems you have, the more cost you have, which means you need bigger turnover, which means you need to invest more into products. And if you're not prepared for it because you haven't gradually built up to it, it's a nightmare. And suddenly you don't know what to do. You're just seeing all of this money. You think, brilliant, I'll go out and buy a Range Rover because obviously the gravy train's going to run forever. And then it doesn't. And then you find yourself in a sorry situation. And that's why a lot of businesses fail, you know. But it's also why traders fail. A lot of traders go bust after big wins than they do from big losses.
What?
Because they think they're invincible. And that invincibility means they throw the plan out the window. So that's why I have a simple setup. And it's here. I trade between set hours. Why? Because the market's volatile and I understand how the market works between those times. And I don't give a toss what anybody says. They can talk about supply and demand till they're blue in the face. They can talk about all the economics from sort of Bloomberg or whatever. They miss the point altogether. Trading is down to one thing. Price. That's it. Just price. Every indicator is built on it. Every trade is made with it. So why not just pay attention to price? Don't give a toss about what's in the news or on forums. I don't use any forums anymore. I find them just to be full of noise and wannabes. And the wannabes talk very loud and they spout God knows what. But as soon as you say, show me what you've done, they become aggressive. And not only do they become aggressive, they become damn right vile. Why? Because you called them out. Because they're just talking hot air. Simple stuff. A lot of people say that about me. But I trade in front of you every day. I show the guys in the Scruffy squad what I'm doing before I trade it. So this is what I'm looking at. This is why I'm going to trade it. Then I trade it in front of them. Simple as that. I can't be fairer than that. And one of its strengths is don't chase the market. I'll trade once, twice a day. Might be plenty of positions within it, but it is once, twice a day, which again comes down to the rules. Less is more. And one of my fundamental things is start with 0, end with 1. And what does that mean? It is this. Now the other day, on the 9th, which was yesterday, I had a trade running from the day before, which was negative. Here. And I use a system called Scruffy Madness. Alright. Basically, it's dipping your toe in, and as the price goes against you, as long as you have your plan still in place, it'll get you out of trouble. And this is it. As it was going down, I waited for the price to bottom out, and then I re-entered the market. This lot was all going to be killed. I was going to kill it off, but I wanted some money back. And because the move was aggressive, right the way down quite steeply, it had to retrace at some point. And that retracement was what I was going to be buying back into. And if I look at the two different figures, so the loss was 65.70. So is that a lot of money? No, not really. Just looks bad because it's a sea of red. How much was the buyback? Bouncing back against that was 80. So the buyback more than paid off the loss and gave me money in the process. And that's what start with 0, end with 1 is all about. I had a trade that was going badly against me. And did I panic? No. Did I reevaluate the trade? Of course I did. It's the first thing I did. I reevaluated exactly what I was doing. Was the criteria still viable? Yes, it was. Would I re-enter the market as a fresh trade? Yes, I would. So that's why Scruffy Madness works. Because it's based on re-entering using a plan. Not panicking or anything. So start the day with 0. Doesn't matter what happens in the middle. End with 1. And that's kind of my definition of that. And what you're kind of seeing up here is, yes, I trade between set hours. It is basically the London session. Once the open is finished, I know there's movement. So I can get in, I can get out. I have a setup that scans the markets. In other words, it tells me which market I'm going to look at. There has to be a certain criteria before I'll even open up the chart to drill into it. Then I have an entry setup, which is setup 2, and it's kind of to get in and get out. And the way that works is, well, the first part gets me in, and then if it's in reverse, it gets me out. Simple as that. Monitor it on a 15-minute chart, and then I start madness with 5 splits. Well, sometimes do it with 6, and I always leave a little bit on the table to run. Simple stuff. And ultimately, what is that all given? Well, it comes back to the 5%. This week, for doing not a great deal, in fairness, you know, it's no different. All I've done is mirror my normal job, and it has given me £193 worth of profit. Now you might think, well, that's nothing. 50,000 account, only got bloody 193 quid. That's crap. Is it? What did I say at the start? That is leverage. That is my pot. So if you look at 193 on 2,700, that is a good growth. And as that account gets bigger, the position sizes will edge up, which means that pot, certainly by the end of this month, will be a livable wage. Be around £250 $250 rather, because this is all in US dollars, a week. £1,000 a month for doing little more than my normal day job, which is day trading on my other account. So I'm getting paid off that, and I'm getting paid off this by just copying across. So back to the original statement. You dedicated 50 to 60 days of your life and then got, well, in this case, thick end of $800 back every month. Would you do it?
Carter, I'm thinking. Uh-huh.
That's why I've decided to stick with the prop firm. You know, it's a very, very small buy-in, but within a very short period of time, gives you the ability to have a wage.
Isn't that logical?
So there you go. Have you pondered the question? Would you give 50 days to buy $800 a month? I would. I have. And what's that $800 done? Well, I know it's going to grow because that's the nature. Slow, steady growth, what I was driving at. But it buys time and freedom. Freedom to do what I want, when I want. And I think that should be the goal you chase. Don't chase the money. Chase what money can buy. And for me, it's time. So I know I look at things in a strange way, and I don't do the glossy videos or anything because ultimately this is just my hobby and something that I genuinely enjoy doing. And it'd be great to see it grow, so share the videos, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, it is enjoyment. And trading should be enjoyment as well. The difference is, it's a job. It's not a hobby. And that's the two sides to YouTube and trading for me. Because I was asked that last week, and I tried to define it on these like sort of Saturday talking head videos. I love my job, and I genuinely love my life. I do. I live life to the fullest every day. And it's because I'm not a slave to the machine. I'm here because I want to be here. And that's the difference. If I choose not to do something tomorrow, I don't need to do it. I haven't got anybody telling me to. So that's what your 50 days and your commitment can buy you. Tell me I'm wrong. I'll be interested in your thoughts. Drop it in the comments, email me. Very easy found. It's always great to connect. And, well, not so much hear your success stories. It's great to hear that as well. But I genuinely think you learn more from your mistakes, your errors. Trust me, in my life, I have made more errors than, well, I've had a strange life full stop. Because I really embrace it. And I'd rather regret doing something as regret not doing something. Kind of a philosophy I've had since I was a kid. Gets me into a lot of trouble. And I've done silly things that I shouldn't. Because I'm not exactly athletic, but I still jumped off cliffs and everything because my kids said, "Hey Dad, do you think you could do that?" Yeah, of course I can. And then as I limped back up the beach, half broken, I wondered to myself, was that really a good idea? But did I regret it? No, not at all. Because I had a payoff. And the payoff was brave enough to do it, or stupid enough to do it. My kids will laugh. So, strange way of looking at things. Anyway, that's kind of the results of the prop. I'll kind of update this once a month. And you can see the journey grow, but it's real time, it's all verified. And week one, give me a half decent payout. See what next week brings, and at the end of the month I'll update it. So, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.